Hi there, Derek Hagan here. I'm a financial therapist, financial planner, and life coach specializing in meaning in life, mindfulness, and resilience here with another meaningful money memo. Let's get to it. Let's talk about financial instincts. So, financial instincts are your wiring, it's the instincts that you have, that you are inherited, it's in your genetic code. But your instincts, they inhibit good behavior. The path towards good financial behavior is kind of got some roadblocks called your financial instincts because personal finance should be pretty simple. Now let's think about simple things for a second. If you think about all the things that are simple, this is going to be things like eating right or mowing your grass. The opposite of simple is complex. So something that's simple is something that isn't very complex, like eating right. Just eat fewer calories than I burn if I want to lose weight, or eat the same amount of calories as I burn if I want to maintain weight. Now, some people think that simple things are easy. So let's talk about easy things. Things that are easy aren't very difficult. So mowing the grass, showed up here again. Rock, paper, scissors is pretty easy. Right? That is because it doesn't take much difficulty to do something. Now, if we chart both of these together, simple things and easy things, there are going to be things that are both simple and easy. For example, we already saw this a couple of times, but mowing the grass. Mowing the grass is not very complex, therefore it's simple, and it's not very difficult, so it's easy. So that falls in both. But there are things that are easy, but are not simple. So let's take that game, rock, paper, scissors. This is a game where it's very easy to learn. It's not that complex. Rock beats scissors and the scissors cuts paper and paper covers rock. It's very easy to learn. But the strategies behind this game can get pretty complex. Now, of course, there are things that are neither simple nor easy. Think about rocket science. Rocket science is complex and difficult. Okay, so that brings us to the things that are simple but not easy. And that's where we get personal finance. So the basics of personal finance are pretty simple. Spend less than you make, save for the future. That's pretty much it. But like eating healthy, many of us struggle to do it. And we do struggle because of our instincts. And part of this, it's wrapped into and looped into a problem of taboo. So let's think about all the things that are acceptable topics of conversation. Anything in that box is worth talking about. Money lies way outside of this box. We're not allowed to talk about money. You can't talk about how much people make. You can't talk about how much something cost. And if I have financial stress, I'm not going to talk about it. And you're not going to talk about it. So I know exactly how much stress I have. So my perception then is that I have all this financial stress, but I look around and I see people not talking about money. And I'm certainly not talking about their stress. So it looks like nobody's having this financial stress except for me. This is where that keeping up with the Joneses effect comes from. Because if I have stress and you don't, now I want to do what you're doing because you seem to have it together. So we've got this thing called money. We know exactly what it's like to be us. Your stress isn't going to be communicated to me. And then when you add to the fact that if you take all of your life decisions and all of your money decisions, there is a lot of overlap between these. There's very few life decisions that don't have a financial component to it, and very few financial decisions that don't impact your life somehow. And this happens to all of us. So this money, we don't learn the skills, we can't talk about it, touches every area of our life. So let's go back to the perception here. The reality is that everybody experiences financial stress. We just don't know it. So we are not alone. It feels like we're alone in this journey called money. And our instincts don't help. But then we can't communicate this with somebody else because it's a taboo topic. Now, when we think about instincts, let's think about our brain. So inside your brain, you've got this little guy. This elephant is kind of like your subconscious brain, your automatic programming. Daniel Kahneman would call this System 1. Automatic patterns. This is the part of your brain that makes a lot of decisions. It makes 90 to 95% of your daily decisions. This is the part of your brain that decides that it's going to sweat or grow your hair. This part of the brain there's no conscious effort, right? So this takes care of the things that you don't even know that you're doing. It can also be trained. When you're driving, you're having a conversation while listening to the radio because the elephant is driving. Now, sitting on top of this elephant is a rider. This is the thinking part of your brain. This is the planning part of your brain. In normal times, this is a good system because the rider can control the impulses of the elephant. So the elephant has some impulse to do something, and the rider can say, well, we shouldn't be doing that. And in normal times, this is a good system. But we're not always in normal times. When something scares the elephant, that is in times of high stress, the rider is no longer in control and is more likely to fall off. Now, to use Daniel Kahneman's terms, system 1 and system 2, system 1 is like that elephant, the automatic processes. And our brain, this is the survival piece too. So this part of your brain trades accuracy for speed. It wants to make really quick decisions, and it's going to be wrong sometimes. And that's okay. That's okay because this is the part that's wired for survival. And the thinking brain is more deliberate, and frankly, we get a lot more accuracy, but it takes a lot more time. So when we get back to this elephant and the rider, meaning the rider, we may want to be happy. We may want to thrive. What's this all about? Well, let's have some fun. Let's find some meaning. Let's find some purpose. But the bigger part of our brain that makes most of the decisions is got this survival instinct to it. Now, there are some evolutionary reasons for this, some biological reasons for this. If your ancestors missed a threat, they're out of the pool. They didn't survive to become your ancestors. If they missed an opportunity, that's no big deal. They survive until tomorrow to get another opportunity. But what happens because of this is we have this negativity bias. And a negativity bias means we've got all this good stuff going for us, and we're going to spot, notice, recognize, remember the bad more often. And what we pay attention to is what our life will become. So even though we've got a lot going on, the negativity bias will tell us to focus on the bad. And by us, I mean the elephant, not the rider, not the thinking part of our brain. We don't do this on purpose. Totally underneath conscious awareness. So what we have then is this foreign concept of money. I got things that exist in nature, and money's sitting outside here because there's no functional equivalent of money in nature. Money doesn't exist in nature. So the skills that we got from our parents, from our grandparents, from our ancestors, it's a totally different subset from financial skills. So we are not wired to deal with money. We're going to interpret everything in a negative light. We know what our stress feels like. Everybody else seems to have it together. We can't talk about money. And so, of course, it feels like we're alone. But that's where awareness comes in. So I'm plotting good decisions and awareness here. Now, for most of us, we're not going to be aware of these instincts. We're not going to be aware of our automatic patterns, but we can train ourselves to be. And if we can just become a little bit more aware, we can start to make better financial decisions. So grow your awareness, make better financial decisions. And what we can do is to start live intentionally. So if you've got an impulse and an action, and those two things occur too close to each other, then we're living a reaction-based life. We're floating around from circumstance to circumstance, reacting to everything. But by increasing our awareness, we can grow the space between impulse and action. And now we've created intention. We're starting to live intentionally. You get one life. Live intentionally. Greetings, Derek again. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more, please head to meaning.blog, and there you can learn about all things related to money and mindset and purpose and meaning. And you'll be able to find out how we might be able to work together. You'll find more articles. You'll find links to videos. You'll find online courses. all kinds of things to get you going on your journey towards living more intentionally.